question of the year, buy now or buy later?
Welcome to Community Real Estate Roots, Agents Building Relationships, where we explore the heart of real estate through meaningful connections. Join Alicia, Deidre, and Lisa as they guide you through stories behind every sold sign and dive into how agents nurture communities, one home and one relationship at a time.
All right, buy now or buy later, Lisa? What do you think?
Well, all the articles I've read lately, I just read one from Fannie Mae, who's the big operator lender of FHA and VA and some of those loans, is some people they don't want to buy now because they're waiting on interest rates to come down, which they have come down slightly. But based on their projection and other projections for 2025, for example, if you were to buy a $400,000 house now, the projection over the next 5 years is you would have close to $83,000 in equity.
Wow.
It's not bad.
That's way more than...
And if you do the average on it, if you do the math on it, that's a 5% increase year over year on that house.
Mm-hmm.
If you wait, they also know that housing prices will still continue to rise.
Mm-hmm.
Rise as big as they have the past 2 or 3 years? No, probably not. But they're still going up.
They're still going
up.
And I think that's what people don't understand is they're still
Right.
going up.
Mm-hmm.
So that same house at $400,000, if you wait till June, could be $415,000.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So now you just went into your equity,
$15,000.
$15,000.
Yeah.
Yep. So how does that have to do with mortgage rates? Well, while you're waiting on a percentage of a mortgage rate to come down, that's still less than what you're going to lose on your equity.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I had somebody once that was like, well, yeah, you should wait on the interest rates to come down a little bit more. And this, so we actually did the math on what his equity he was going to walk away with compared to taking the 0.5% higher interest rate. And he would have to be in the house when we did it. He would have had to been in the house like another 5 years to balance for the rest. So I said, so you not getting your equity and you're putting your equity in jeopardy over this timeline, do the math. Is it really worth it? And, he was a numbers guy.
Mm.
So, he definitely went for that.
I think you have to break it down for some people just to give them different scenarios. Like I literally had clients come to me this weekend and they're like, the interest rates are too high for us, but we have to buy. Like it's
Right.
time for us to buy because we're tired of renting.
Mm-hmm.
And they found the house they wanted. And it was a little bit, what more than what they wanted to spend. But, they got with the lender. The lender approved them and told them, well, we can do the 2-1 buy down. And that's what they're doing. So they bought their interest rate down for
Right.
a little while. And hopefully by the time all this pans out, they'll have a lower interest rate for the rest of the loan
Mm-hmm.
because they'll be able to refi.
Yeah, no, you can. That's the thing people don't understand is if you get to a certain point and interest rates plummet for some reason, which,
I don't
unless.
see that happening. here.
Well, no, I don't. The industry doesn't see it happening, and unless we're shoved back in our houses for 12 months and not walking outside.
Mm-hmm.
Please no.
No, I mean, is that the way we want to live, to think that we can get something at the price? And honestly, we didn't get it at the price because we doubled what we had to pay at the grocery store
But I mean, I feel like
to get food.
if you look at it, everybody's like, oh, these interest rates are so high. These interest rates are so high. They're higher than what we're used to. But literally 10 years ago, in 2015, I bought my house for 6.5.
Yes,
And that was low for me then.
right.
And I was singing the praises then.
Yeah.
So I can understand where it's higher, but I mean, it's really not that high.
Mm-mm.
No, I call it back to pre-COVID. I
Right.
mean, if you do the research and not the year going into COVID, but the previous year
Hmm.
from that, I mean, it was the same. It was the same thing.
Hmm.
Now, your housing prices were different.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So you were able,
Oh yeah, I bought
it,
my house for $149,000.
Mhm.
yeah, I
And I'm
mean,
like, I could buy
it's
2 or 3 of them now, right?
Mhm.
right. So really, there wasn't a whole lot of
Mm-mm.
conversation about that. But then again, we didn't really think that 149 was a,
A deal
a
breaker.
deal breaker
Yeah.
or not a good price,
Right.
you know?
Mhm.
And so, but look at your 10 years later in equity.
Hmm.
I know where you live. You could probably sell that house for what? 275?
Well, the one I'm talking about would probably be between 225, I would say.
Okay.
This is a different one. The one I live in now, I've only been in since 22, but yeah.
But even
Yeah.
do the math.
Mhm.
You do the math.
It's
Then,
still going to be more.
right.
Yeah. So you gain the equity. And I thought that's like what my clients were saying. It's like we just need to get in because by the time we're ready to actually move up, then we have some equity to live off of.
Well, and that's the part that kills me too is that people don't think of it. They're just so caught up in that percent that they're not thinking, I'm giving you $2,000 a month
But it's really mine.
to a landlord on his, I'm paying his equity
Mm-hmm.
in his
Mhm.
house when my mortgage payment is not going to be much more than 2,000 and the equity is mine.
Right.
You're going to be able to,
You're paying yourself.
you're paying yourself.
Mhm.
You can't invest in a money market or stocks or anything like that you're going to get
This kind of return.
a 5% or higher return on.
Yeah.
Right.
I ask bankers all the time, and they'll tell you it's the best return that you can get. Now, you need to be smart
Oh yeah. Not just
about where you're
buying.
buying.
Mhm.
You know, so and now we've talked about this before, and I think you've had a couple of these lately. They've had to turn around and sell
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
coming out of COVID, and they've got to sell now for different reasons. I think people forget that you just don't buy houses because I wake up one day and go, "Oh, I want to go buy a house."
Mm-mm.
Your life changed. Something happened in your life, or you're tired of paying rent.
Mhm.
To make that happen. No different when you have to make a decision to go make a car, to go buy a car.
Mhm.
You know, if you've put all this money into to another car that you paid too much money for, hanging on to it's not going to do anything.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
You saying that makes me think I'm gonna have to buy a car before too long. I know that's totally off topic, but
Yes.
And just for the record, I want one too.
yeah, I've had the same car forever.
There's a difference in need and wants.
Mine's making noises.
That's what my husband says. But
He's warning me, or she's warning me. Go ahead and start saving up because
the rate of tires that I go through on my car,
You do go through a lot of tires.
they're those thin. I don't know. They're thin. They're speed rated, sport rated, something like that.
Did you know you were buying those?
No,
when
I
you
bought the car because it was pretty. I had no idea that
Guess what?
that 2 tires cost $1,500,
Yeah.
and I've put in 4 tires on there pretty much every year. So
Dang.
it's breaking my bank. My
Yeah.
husband's like, we're not doing this again.
That would be a good reason too.
yeah.
That's
Now
the reason.
that's a good reason.
That's a
to trade.
reason. And I'm
Yeah.
like, they will not have these tires. They're gonna have those thick ones. Like, I need some better tires.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
went to
no,
the
for
farmer's
sure.
market and then we went to the zoo afterwards yesterday. And my daughter, she can't stand it when I drive. She has to drive. So we're in my car and she's driving. I don't care.
I'm getting
Chauffeur
driven
me around,
around.
go for it. And she's like, Mom, the next car you get has got to have a backup camera. I was like, you just need to learn how to drive without one.
That's what we told my daughter.
Jeez.
She got a backup camera on this last car, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is so different." I was like, "You still need to make sure you
I
can
figured
back
it
up.
out.
Turn around and look.
Don't get used
Yeah.
to this."
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's going to scream at you
Mm-hmm.
when it could possibly be too late. So why does somebody need to buy in the wintertime now?
There's less, in my opinion, there's less buyers right now. So you've
Less
got more of a,
competition.
less competition, more houses to choose from.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. For
Not as much
for
of a
sure.
rush.
Mm-mm.
You're not trying to.
But, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all, and I think I've mentioned to you, I put a house on the market on Thursday and at 225 in Calera, and I've received 4 offers on it.
Well,
Yeah.
So I feel like if
it's certain-
it's time to come out, if y'all are getting ready to come out,
it is.
because
Well, and that goes back to what we were just talking about on making those decisions to do that. Yes, if you're going to get this type of equity, you need to be smart about the locations and the areas that you're doing that in. 5 years from now, on this house that you're selling today, they will have great equity in it because everything's going to continue to move south.
Mhm.
Housing prices are going to continue to increase because they're building so much.
Mhm.
An older neighborhood that this house is in, and it's a cute house. It's not like it's a 1950 house.
mm-mm.
Is going to be great even actually 3 years from
Well,
now.
I mean, let me tell you, I guess, I can't think of the word, but
Reference.
reference is a good word. I bought a house in this same neighborhood in 2003. I paid 102 for it. Now basically it's the same neighborhood,
Right.
same layout, 3-bedroom, 2-bath is selling for 225.
Right.
And there's a few that have sold for more. So I mean, that just proves that it's going
Word of
up.
mouth.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of my clients who's bought a property with me last year, he has a whole bunch of businesses. He has like different restaurants and things like that. And he's like, I'm going to start selling all that stuff off and start investing in real estate because that's where you get your return
Yeah.
it's-
and a lot less
Definitely.
work.
Tell
You
her
don't
to
have
bring
hard-
it on.
I said, come on.
Come on.
Come
Bring
to
it
mama.
on.
I can find you a house or property or business,
But it's
whatever.
true. You don't get the same return unless it's in an area of a town that's just really popping. But you have to be smart about that too. I mean, just
Mhm.
like us opening our office in Calera.
Mm-hmm.
We really didn't have planned to do it this soon because they're going to revitalize. Well,
We
what's
were
smarter?
coming now.
Getting
Coming
ahead of it.
now and
Getting in there already.
getting in there already and get what the rent is now, or we wait till revitalization happens, and then what is that rent?
Yeah.
Mhm. It's like I told my daughter, she bought a house in Columbiana, and I was like, now's the time to do it. They're in the process of building the subdivision. Get in here now.
Yep.
5 years from now, you can sell it for a lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's a small subdivision too. One way in, one way out. I love that it sits up on a type of thing. So there's so many things that go into the right decision for where you want to purchase that house.
Mhm.
I have one I close in about a week or so, and I have the buyer that someone had referred to me as their friends, and it's in Hoover. They had very specific wants. I'm not going to use needs, wants. The wife loves to cook, so out of anything she wanted, the kitchen had to be amazing. Like, it couldn't be like a small island like this. It had to be a bigger 8-chair type
Wow.
island. She likes lots of counter space. So it was a challenge to find it. She found one that she kind of liked, and then I had run across one, and I said, just how I am. I'm like, come on,
Just look at the kitchen.
let's just go look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And they went. It was the last one of the day, and I already knew when she was going to go in the front door that it was going to be like I was that little wouldn't let anybody go in the front door till I got there and had it open.
So you can see their face.
Yes, I know. I just love you. Got to see what their face is. But anyway, this one had been on the market for a minute. It was probably overpriced from the beginning because it's been on the market since October, maybe, and it's a higher price point. But I mean, they brought it down quite a bit. We gave them the full price offer that they wanted there. I was like, well, I don't even know. It's still on the high side. I don't know if it's going to appraise or whatever. But this shows you a difference in just a few weeks and whatever from that. We wrote it for 665 and it appraised at 683.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So they're walking in the door
With equity.
Mm-hmm.
So the appraisers are giving the value of something if it is some value. But it was so funny when I told them that. They were like, okay, is that good? And
People don't know.
I'm like, no, they don't know. I said, it's great. You're buying a house with equity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the best thing that you can do. And it's in an area of Hoover, subdivision for all the Cahaba River and all that is. They're still building over there.
So it's only going to get higher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Nice.
this is, and it's only 7 years old
Hmm.
to start with.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. They built this huge outside gas grill area
Oh.
made of rocks and bricks. I was like, not only do you have one inside, but look outside.
Yep.
Perfect for entertaining.
It's perfect for entertaining. Well, and then she goes, we have a big family. And she goes, mostly my husband's, and they come over and they don't go home. And
Oh, no. Well, it's only going to get worse, honey.
so they have a big space that if they come, they can have the upstairs to themselves, and because they don't have any kids yet, they're fixing to get married. But yeah, I mean, we're seeing people go into houses with equity,
Mm-hmm.
and we're also seeing them that the offer they made didn't appraise.
Yeah.
You're only gonna pay appraised value unless the seller goes, no, I'm not budging. Well, then their house is gonna sit on the market.
Mm-hmm.
But if he would have found this one earlier, it wouldn't have praised
Mm-hmm.
when it came back
Mm.
because it was priced up there pretty high. They also went with this house because the build is 6 to 7 months out on the new one because they're rebuilding this floor plan, and it was like 6 to 7 months.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh no, we can't wait that long
Mm-mm.
for that. So I think back to your point, people are buying, and the people of this house, they got relocated for work.
Mm-hmm.
They're already gone. The house is empty.
Wow.
So it's going to work its way. And he had talked about waiting. I got him hooked up with Nick, and, he's putting down really good money. So Nick was able to get him a good rate, and we got it locked in.
Hmm.
So he had a really, and they're first time home buyers. I have to explain everything to
But it's
them.
good that they're wanting to know. A lot of people
Yeah.
just like
Sign
don't
here.
even want to read the
Yeah, they
contract. Just tell me where to sign.
Well, he don't read anything. He does sign. He just asked me.
That scares me. I'm like, no, you really,
Oh, no.
you have to read this. If you
The-
have questions, ask me, because I do not want
right.
you to think that I'm responsible for any of this. This is you.
Well, and you have mixed emotions because you want them to, you want them to trust you and, know that you have their best interest in mind. But at the same time, we're not the ones signing it.
Mm-hmm.
They're signing it, and they need to understand what they're
What you're signing.
what they're signing. So yes, less competition. But the other bigger thing that was in this article was the prices are lower. They've been on the market a little while longer because of wintertime. They sit on the market.
Mhm.
Another 30 days, things are not going to sit on the market like that
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
because people that are going to move when their kids get out of school, they start looking like in March. Because didn't we just talk about one for you?
Yep, I've signed a listing on Friday that last day of school is mid-May, and they want to be gone by then. So they're wanting to go on the market mid-March and try to time it out that way.
That's
So,
great.
Well, and that's when we talked about it. It's like it's one of those cases that you have to do the math backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So, we go, when do you want that moving truck up to your house and gone?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what that is. That's the number one thing I want to know. And they tell you, I have my calendar in front of me, and I went, so, okay, it's there. I said, it's going to take about 6 to 8 weeks to go through a loan process.
Mm-hmm.
So let's back that out. And then now it's probably going to be on the market for about 4 to 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's back that back out. And she was almost later than, because honestly, she probably needed to be on the market by the first part of
She's going to go,
March.
yeah, she's going to do coming soon, literally March 1st, and then on the 14th go active. So that's how she wanted to do it. So,
most agents don't think like that with their buyers.
Right.
So it's about getting it. It's about getting it now. Because if they tell you, no, I want to move by June 30th.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, now we're in April.
mhm.
There's no sense in you putting a house on the market in March, and they can't move till
Mm-hmm.
they can't move to the end of June, because then
Right.
you got to do post occupancy and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff that gets really other nerve wracking.
Mm.
And you have one that went under contract.
Yeah, super excited.
I know we all have one. Woo, woo.
Mine's under contract, and I got somebody interested in the land in Sylacauga also.
Oh,
Nice.
good.
They called me today, and this guy's like asking me about it, and I got a buddy who wants this, that wants it. I was like, well, tell him to come on. I
Make,
sent him the listing and everything. I'm not here looking at it. I was like,
yes.
come on.
make the offer
Mm-hmm.
for
I
that.
said they're very eager to sell. Let's, tell him to call me. And I sent
Okay.
him the listing because he was actually at the property looking at it, and he called me. And so I sent him the MLS listing. I said, send this to your buddy. Tell him to call me.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
So my takeaway from this is
Things are happening.
buy
Buy now.
now.
Yes.
It's time.
It is time because, some of these properties have been sitting there for a hot minute, and now they're all getting snatched
Well,
up.
and the interest rate's going to jump up and down for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you
For the
might
rest of your life.
you might as well get ready for that. That's just going to happen, and stay focused more around it as an investment
Mm-hmm.
and where I'm going to be. Now, if you're going to tell me I'm only going to be in the area a year and I'm moving, well, then the conversation is, well, you're going to keep it as a rental property. What do you?
Yeah.
What's your plans
What's
after?
your plan on that? Because, I mean, you have another one too that just bought it a year ago, right?
Yeah, that's the one I've got under contract. They bought in May of last year, and they're already moving. That's the one that's under contract now, and they full out VA loan, so they've really not made
Yeah.
a dent in it.
Mm.
So
Yeah. But I get it. They're going to family.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so
There's a reasons for that. So buy it now
that's what we're saying. Buy it now.
and just call us. That's that simple.
Thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast platform or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Your Neighbor, Your Agents. Please visit www.yourneighboryouragents.com.